All right, what's up, Rainvets? I'm Wesley Wilson, current president of the Fordham Veterans Association. I'm here with Nicole. She is the executive director of employer relations. We're here to talk about the internship fair coming up on September 24th. It's going to be a huge event, and we're just going to kind of talk about the event itself, a couple of our other upcoming events here at the FVA, as well as things that you can do right now to make sure you're successful at the internship fair. So before I introduce Nicole and she kind of explains what Career Services does, I want to highlight a couple of things. One, the internship fair is going to be, again, on September 24th from 11 to 3:30. We have 22 vendors currently signed up to participate, and that's everything from public and private sectors. We have the FBI is going to be there, Morgan Stanley, and it's really just going to be a completely no-risk environment. So if you already have an internship, or if you don't, come out there, brush up on your skills, and if nothing else, just come and support your fellow student veterans who are going to be out there. Quick shout out to our gold sponsors who helped sponsor the event, TD Ameritrade and Society General. We're really thankful for those guys to sponsor their event. So our upcoming events, our Fall Social, which is our largest gathering of student veterans, is going to be on November 2nd. We have our guest speaker, SVA CEO Jared Lyon is going to give our opening remarks. That's with an open bar. I'll just leave that where it is. And then we also have our regular FVA meetings. So we'll have our regular meetings in Lincoln Center. It'll be in the South Lounge, and then in our Rose Hill campus in Kniffy House. And those alternate. So 1 week we'll be at Rose Hill, 1 week we will be at Lincoln Center. So without further ado, Nicole, she's awesome. So why don't you tell us just a little bit about what Career Services does and
Yes, of course. So the Office of Career Services serves both the students on the professional development side, so meaning what to do with your major, developing a resume, a cover letter, interviewing skills, internship and job search strategies, as well as how to develop your online social media presence through LinkedIn, and much more. We have a database called Handshake. For those of you who are not on it, I really recommend that you log in and claim your account today. And this is our database that has jobs and internships that employers post looking for Fordham students, as well as opportunities to network with employers on campus. So all our large-scale events, our weekly information sessions, as well as you can also schedule an appointment with a career counselor on this platform as well. So you could stop in, take a look at what times any of our counselors are available, and schedule an appointment in advance. We also have walk-in hours, so if you want to come in and get your resume quickly looked at, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3, here in Rose Hill, or Lincoln Center, 12 to 5, at our Lincoln Center campus. So I'm on the employer relations team, so I'm a 5-person team, and we work with the employers who are looking to conduct on-campus recruiting here at Fordham. So they're specifically coming and contacting us looking to hire Fordham students for internships as well as full-time employment.
Perfect.
So a lot of the times, which I really love, is that a lot of the employers that come on campus are alumni. So they have been in your shoes before. They definitely can relate to the Fordham culture and know exactly what you are learning in your classes as well.
Yeah, perfect. So one of the things I want to highlight here, guys, is I know whenever I was getting out of the Army, you go through that transition assistance program, and it's roughly like a week. So you work on a resume, but I promise you, it pales in comparison to what the guys at Career Services can do with your resume. I came here, I thought it was, when I left the transition assistance program, I thought my resume was really good, and I came here and they were like, yeah, no, this is not good. So they, completely overhauled it, and now I'm really happy with what I have. So one of the other things, you guys, whenever you are, making some last minute adjustments to your resume, if you come down to Career Services, for like 25 cents, right?
25 cents for 10 copies. You can print out your resume on resume paper here in our office.
Resume paper just gives that added little pop, whenever you slide it over to an employer. So awesome. So let's talk about dress. Dress for very important. So how should they dress?
Absolutely. So your first impression is very, very important. So you want to make sure it's strong. So when you're going to another career fairs, you want to make sure that you're dressed for success. So you want to make sure you have a suit on, and that could be black, blue, gray, or brown. Also have like a very light colored shirt, nothing too bright or fancy, and then a conservative tie, as well as dress pants and dress shoes. For the females, I always recommend that you're a little bit more on the conservative side, so wearing a dress pants or a skirt, as long as it's to your knee.
Right.
And then in regards to shoes, make sure you're comfortable because you're walking around the fair a lot.
Sure.
So no high heels or things like that. Also, something that's a little unique that I always tell students is don't wear cologne or perfume, because sometimes people wear really heavy colognes or perfumes, and it can be very distracting for employers.
They're wearing it properly a lot of times.
Yes,
Just spray it on.
exactly. So as much as you think it smells good, it just can be very distracting in such a large-scale environment.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I've seen, because I've been to a lot of these things, for the guys especially, if you're able to, and if you just have, if you get a suit from Macy's, just spend the time and drop it off at a tailor and get it tailored. Because I'll see some that their jacket's kind of baggy, and then I'll just be like, honestly, I can't even like really take you seriously anymore. So if you have the time, just go and get that stuff tailored. And also, like, I see people they'll wear like their backpacks, and like a book bag just doesn't match with like this suit, you know. So if you have like a tote bag or something that kind of matches.
Being at the fairs in Constantino, I believe that there's going to be a little area sort of in like in the middle, on this side when you first enter the fair, that you can drop your bag off if you don't have that option.
Sure, yeah. There's just those little things
But yeah, when you're in the fair,
you kind of forget about.
Try to lose the backpack.
Perfect, yeah. So like once we're there, everybody's like, you know, super nervous, and they don't really know, like, especially if there's like lines, like how do you kind of go about negotiating the lines, or like employers like, oh hey, what's up? Or they kind of, you know, drag you in.
So I always recommend before going into the fair having some sort of game plan, so knowing which companies you want to visit. So being that we have the registration up on Handshake, the student vets can actually see who's coming in advance, so they know exactly who to expect to be there. And also take a look at the room, see what lines are really long, because you don't want to be spending too much of your time sitting on the lines. So you want to really kind of go to those. The first employers you should be seeing are the ones with the shorter lines. That's what I recommend. However, there are companies whose lines just never die down. They're long for the entire time. So when you do get the time to sit on the line, network with your peers. Speak with them about their experiences. Have you spoke to any other companies? And just use this as an opportunity to kind of get some of your nerves out. Also, as you move closer to the employer table, take a look at, pay attention to what the employer is asking the student. That can kind of give you some inside scoop on like what the conversations are like.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't think we'll have too big of an issue with lines, just because usually we have around anywhere from 100 to 150 student veterans that all this is tailored directly to them.
That's correct.
And with the ratio, there's 22 employers, and it's over the span of 4 or 5 hours, so you shouldn't have that issue. But I just know how I've always felt like awkward, like waiting to talk to people.
11:15.
So yeah, great. What about like an elevator?
Very
Like,
smart.
what makes like a good elevator?
So your elevator pitch is when you walk up to the employer's table to introduce yourself, essentially. What I always tell them is make it conversational. You don't want to be too robotic and read right from your resume. Introduce your name, your school, what school you're part of, and your major, as well as some of your experiences that you've had. Ask them a specific question. So I noticed that you had a summer internship opportunity posted. I'd love to learn a little bit more about what qualifications you look for in a candidate. That way, it's more conversational on the employer side, and it makes more fruitful conversation. You get to learn a little bit more about what they're looking for.
Right.
If they don't have an internship posted, maybe you can say, what opportunities do you have available for student veterans? Because, again, remember, these employers have veteran hiring initiatives that are coming to campus.
Yeah, T-Mobile and all of them, they have huge hiring
That's
initiatives.
right. So make it as conversational as possible, and also offer to hand along a copy of their resume as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick thing with this, this is just anecdotal. You could please, sharpshoot it down. Again, this is like a no-risk type environment, so take it with a grain of salt. If you go and talk with one employer and it's just you're not connecting, that's fine. You're gonna go to a million of these things. Just keep moving, go to the next one. It's not a huge deal if at one time you don't make you don't make an impression or whatever. Just go for the learning experience and just move on to the next one. Because I always used to get discouraged. I would go and talk to one person, and then like it wouldn't flow the way I would want to, and then I'd be like, all right, well, great, and then I'd get discouraged. But don't, like, it's fine, it's all learning.
And always remember, these employers, this is like the fun part of their job.
Yeah.
They're here on campus, they're meeting the students, it's an exciting day, so everyone's in a really great mood, so it's always nice to be there.
Sure. So we're gonna wrap up here in a second, but after the internship fair, what's like the best way to follow that?
It's really important to when you hand over your resume to get a copy of their business card, because you want to follow up with them in 24 hours technically. Because remember, they're meeting a large number of students, and you want to sort of set yourself out from the crowd. So when you write your follow-up email to them, you're going to thank them for coming to the event. You really enjoyed meeting with them, and also add something more personalized. Maybe something that you guys talked about at the event to make them remember you, and also let them know that you've actually listened to them. And let them know they're really excited to hear more about opportunities and stay connected, and really important to attach a copy of your resume.
Perfect. So guys, we're going to kind of wrap up here. I just want to reiterate one more thing. I got out of the Army of internships, because you're getting out here, you're just trying to figure out what the world is like outside of the military. But these things are important. So because I didn't understand, I missed the recruiting cycle. The recruiting cycle is right now for internships for the spring and the fall, or the spring and the summer and upcoming things like that. So now is when they're recruiting. So by the time I realized it, it was like late spring and nobody was recruiting then. So I don't have an internship. I'm going to try and squeeze one. I'm going to this thing. I'm going to try and get one too.
Yeah, we're here to help as well.
So just keep that in mind. Again, no risk. If you have one, if you don't and have no interest, just come out and support us. Even if you don't, come and hang out and we'll talk. But Nicole, thank you so much for doing this with us. We're going to invite you guys to stay tuned and have a good Wednesday.